Not used to being on camera. I'm always the guy behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do this.
We're here.
We're here.
I don't have any notes.
We'll just kind of roll with it.
I never have notes.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I
Sometimes
do.
having full
I do a
set of
little
notes is best. Like, you have the idea in your mind, but if you're just focusing on the notes the whole time, then it might distract what you're trying to.
Yeah.
How the conversation's
Well,
going.
a lot of times, if I don't know anybody at all,
Then
I always do a little research. But I've known you for years, so
Yeah. Who are you again?
so I don't need notes.
Yeah.
I already know what I need to know.
We made a movie together, I think.
We did make a movie.
Something like that. Yeah, a couple movies, actually.
Couple movies
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Couple movies.
Yeah. One about pans and... Oh, that was so great.
We should have brought some pans. Where's the pan trophy?
That's it. I should have brought that. I do. It's at my home work desk.
You should have brought that pan trophy. Because you could have shown it off to the world. To the world.
Should have.
That's
gonna bother me now.
Send me a picture of it.
I will.
Send me a picture of it. Maybe I'll add it in.
Yeah, add that in. I'll do my YouTube play button too.
There you go. Okay.
My
Yeah,
YouTube
you got
award.
that. So how many YouTube play buttons do they send you?
So you get one for free for achieving that goal, and then if you want more for your team, you pay an extra $150.
$150
per award. Yeah.
per award.
Yep. And then
Crazy.
if you reach 1 million, which is just crazy in general, then it's like same thing. You get one free, and then it's like 500 extra because it's bigger and it's gold.
Is it real gold though?
That's a good question.
Is it real gold?
Is it real gold? That'd be amazing if it was.
Oh my goodness!
You should. It's for 1 million. Come on now.
And what's the next one up? Is there another one for like 10 million?
100 million, I think, is the next.
100 million is the next.
It's not a plaque anymore. It's like a rock. It's like a diamond thing.
Okay.
Yeah, which like a platinum award, I believe is what it's called.
At that point, you've made YouTube so much money that they're just like
exactly, and hopefully you get a lot of that money in return as well. Hopefully they're paying you pretty.
It's
well.
it's such a good model.
It is.
And speaking of that, like so like have you heard of what's going on with Twitch?
No, I have not.
So like Twitch, there's a lot of stuff going on with Twitch right now because they're like stopping their creator program where they're not stopping their creator program. They're not going to do any more deals with creators
Really?
anymore. And they've already changed the percentage of the split that a creator would get versus Twitch.
Interesting.
And they're a lot of times they flag or just take down certain accounts without warning.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't just really been diving, like very friendly when it comes to like the creator
Interesting.
world and system of that. So it's just interesting because like YouTube is like, hey, let's pour more into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Twitch is being like, yeah, we don't. But that's like the lifeblood of their whole thing.
Yeah.
Now they're more live streaming. You can live stream on YouTube, but it's still not the go-to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with under Google, like YouTube is like the number 2 most used search engine for anything, which is crazy.
Yes.
So, and especially since YouTube is owned by Google, they make so much money, and then creators are making them so much money. All that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like one of the top platforms. I'm not too familiar with using ads like on Facebook or stuff on Instagram. That I'm not too familiar with how you get revenue off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know you give them money if you want that verified blue ribbon on your profile.
Oh yeah.
But
X, Twitter.
Yeah, X, Twitter, Instagram. They got all that.
Got to pay money, man. You want that blue check mark?
You got to be verified to know it's really you. So, even though. Yeah, but it used to be, didn't it mean something else in the past? Like it actually had true meaning where you had to do something specific.
Yeah, you had to achieve something
Yeah.
to get the blue check mark.
Yeah.
But now I feel like
now you buy it.
But also I feel like there's accounts on there that like got like 1,000, followers on there and they got the blue check mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, how? And maybe there's some algorithm thing where it's like you're really big on some other platform, so it just transfers over. Maybe.
I mean, I've noticed.
I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, like I've asked a few people, like actors, a couple of my friends who are actors and part of SAG, they've said, yeah, for actors it's easy to get that blue like check mark because it's just you representing you.
Yeah.
But if you're just showing like a whole business, like for me, Chair and Stair Films, if you wanted that to have the blue check mark, it's a little bit harder because it's more than just one person.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, it's a business, no, and I want to verify that this is the actual account for that business. But apparently trying to do it for that is a little bit more complicated than it is for just a single person trying to get it. Which is kind of weird. Yeah.
I think they're just buying it. They're just buying the blue check mark. I mean, maybe I need to buy it.
They really want that money.
I gotta get that. But people, there's like a certain status. You see that blue check mark? They're like,
yeah.
Ooh.
You see all the celebrities have it. Businesses have it.
Certified.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, you see that check mark by Dwayne Johnson's profile.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah. Well, Dwayne Johnson, though, man. Come on. Did you hear about that? He just got his naming rights.
He did, yeah.
For The Rock.
Yep. Part of TKO with WWE.
Yeah.
So, and then he's got the rights to The Rock now.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Because, like, it's never been done before.
No.
So, like, some other entity creates, I mean, yes, they're an actor with wrestling and actor/athlete, really.
Yeah.
And then through the company, you know, they're like, hey, we got to come up with this persona for you. And so they come up with The Rock. So wouldn't they own that, right? Yeah, so they own it. And then to give that away. But now he's also like on the board.
Yeah.
You know, for that TKO thing. And now him and there was another, Triple H. Triple H was on there. And then he, so they're both trying to help now the WWE.
Yeah.
Just get blown up now, which
was crazy. I don't want to go into specifics because it's just a whole depressing thing with the whole Vince McMahon situation.
Oh, I didn't hear about this. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah,
allegations
I did. Yes,
like serious allegations.
Yeah.
Like, like they've just exploded even more than the previous ones. Like we know there were allegations thrown against him by women, but this one that just kind of got out there in this lawsuit that she's filing against him and another guy. And I think maybe one other person. I'd have to double check. I didn't read the report, but that's just the general information.
You didn't read the report?
They got it online. I mean, I could read it now.
You're supposed to be ready to read this report for this.
I didn't hear it talking about Vince McMahon.
Hey, so one thing that we're doing a little different, everybody, on the podcast is that I want to have it be more of these like kind of behind the scenes like organic conversations.
Yeah.
And you guys are on here. If you see the episode title, yes, this is about content. This is about creation, how to use content. But the world is, it's fluid. The world's constantly changing. So I wanted this to be more open because a lot of our previous episodes they're very structured, I would say. But for everybody that doesn't know who you are and what you do, let everybody know. Of course, we got Derek Pfister on the podcast, but let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So Derek Pfister, Chair on Stair Films. I am the owner, cinematographer, and editor for the business. I started it professionally as a business in 2010, and it's just been growing year by year, and I've gotten to something I ever dreamed of it.
Wait, you started 2010?
Yeah, 2010 is when I actually turned it into a business. Before that, it was just like a hobby.
It's 14 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Started out doing weddings, and now we do everything, literally, from weddings to business video, promo video, advertising, and our true love, which is filmmaking.
Yeah. And how many movies have you made?
I don't know, too many.
You don't know the number?
No. Some good, some bad. Some people like them, some people don't, but that's movies. What can I say?
Would you say it's more than 10?
Oh, yeah, definitely more than 10.
Because how long have you done the 48-hour film festival?
Since 2011. And since there's been a few years in there that we couldn't do. 1 year was because I got married, and then a few other years was because of college. So
that's incredible. I mean, just the fact that, because I've gone through the process with the 48-hour film festival with you, creating some short films, and the process doing it is just crazy. But the fact that you have so many films under your belt that you've lost count.
Yeah, I'd have to look back.
It's hard enough where people are like, yeah, I got this movie idea.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I've done that like more times than I can count.
Yeah, like I've made my own films. I've been part of other people's films. It's a little bit of both, and I love doing both. Because if I'm just focusing on my stuff always, it's like, okay, I'm never going to learn unless I branch out and get involved with other communities or other film communities because I can learn their style, learn from them. Hopefully they can learn something from me. That's something I always wonder too. I'm like, hopefully I wasn't just like a complete annoyance, or I hope I did something to help them out.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. But yeah, so you do films, you have business videos, interviews, weddings. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Documentaries.
Yeah, which is kind of what the Next Frame has turned into, like a mini documentary.
Shout out Next Frame.
Yeah.
I was on there. You've had a ton of other amazing creatives on the Next Frame, which is so. And you may be a little biased just because you're on this podcast, but who was your favorite interview from the Next Frame?
Oh gosh.
You don't have to say me.
Definitely Jamar Jones of Foureva Media. I mean,
you don't have to say me.
You were episode 6, I believe.
Yeah.
You were episode 6, I believe.
That was so cool, man. I mean, I would love to do more stuff like that because, I mean, oftentimes when I go on stuff, like I'm more called to do things, but the change your circle, change your life, or marketing, branding, but it's not always I get to kind of dive into the creative side. So that was cool. It was like a bunch of creative questions and how did you build, and like because that's how it all started. Was that piece, and in the shots, and we were in that cool studio and stuff. I don't know if we can say the name, but cool studio setup and everything, and it was such a because I still use that footage till this day. I do awesome. Little micro clips and that's great. Yeah,
that's what we want to do for creatives. Like, I got the idea. I mean, you get ideas sometimes in the craziest situations or most random situations. Like, I was previously on a podcast for a buddy of mine. He had me on talking about when I was in the news industry, how I worked through COVID with that. And I thought it was great. I had a great time. And then like a week later, I was taking a shower and then I got this idea. I'm like, wait a second, based off of what I was talking about on his podcast, wouldn't it be phenomenal if I could like get a bunch of creatives' names out there through a series, but in a documentary type of style, like Wisconsin-based creatives? Because I know so many people throughout the state. I've worked with so many different creatives, whether you're a filmmaker, an artist, painter, whatever, voice actor. It's all being creative. And there's just so much talent that I met. I want to get it out there and showcase, hey, you don't need to be on the East or West Coast to know people like this. There's people within this great state of Wisconsin that know how to do it, and you can do that work here before branching out to any of the larger states to do this work.
Yeah.
So, and it just kind of exploded from that. I did a few episodes. They turned out great. The clients that we had a wonderful time doing it, and they spread the word. I got the episodes out there. I got some interest. I brought you on board, and you loved doing it. So that gave Brendan and I the energy to continue doing it because we knew we were making an impact, not only with the creatives we were interviewing, but for the people watching it as well. So, and hopefully the people who are watching the Next Frame are learning something from these creatives and reach out to them.
Yeah.
Because we want people to reach out to these other people we're talking to, because that's how you grow your network, is by working with others.
And are you, do you plan on continuing the Next Frame? Are you going to do more episodes? Is there more queued up? Like, what can you give us?
Well, 2 days from now, as we're recording this podcast, Brendan and I are going to Madison to record 4 different creatives on the same day.
Oh my God.
That's how we're starting out the year for the Next Frame. Is we're going to knock out 4 episodes one day with 4 different creatives. That way, that gives me that time to work on them, and I can spread them out, and then schedule more for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But we've never done a bunch of people within the same day before.
Yeah,
so this will be a first for us. I'm just so used to doing one at a time, maybe one a month, working on the episode throughout the month to get it out, give it to the creative, promote them, all that stuff. But Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes.
No,
See how we do for.
that's so cool, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool. We should now you got my wheels turning now since we're just talking about this. We should talk after this about, maybe how to blow that up a little bit more.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
Because there's a lot of organizations and a lot of companies that want to be attached to things, especially because you're just doing Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, right now
That's
it's
your
Wisconsin,
focus,
yeah.
right? So there's companies, there's organizations that they want to be attached to this stuff that you're already doing all the work, but they want that visibility to be attached to something, especially like the creative world.
Mhm.
There's just right now there's not a lot of platforms for creatives to go to get acknowledged.
Yeah,
for
you're
their
kind of
work.
limited to two big ones, which is YouTube, Vimeo, stuff like that.
But no, I'm saying particularly in Wisconsin.
Oh, in Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
particularly in Wisconsin,
yeah,
for sure.
It's very hard.
There's not many platforms you can go to
There
that
really
actually will shine some light onto what you got. There's a few podcasts and stuff that are
Right.
out there, but yours is like I mean, I would say it's more of a show,
Mhm.
Than a podcast setting.
Yeah,
Because it's a true kind of docu-style interview, esque,
Yeah.
feel to it. And so that makes it like a notch above where I'm thinking of a podcast, something like this, where we're just kind of chilling and chatting.
right. Just kind of going back and forth. Like the next frame is literally like we're asking the questions,
Yeah.
but you're not going to hear us.
Yeah.
It's literally going to be the actual creative telling the story in a
Yeah, yeah.
documentary style. Like we'll film B-roll, they provide us
Yeah,
with
you
their
have a lot of
work,
B-roll and stuff, and so
and we
yeah,
mix that all together to create a story that showcases them from how they started in whatever aspect that they're talking about to where they are today,
yeah,
and how it all kind of evolves.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
No, it's super cool, man, and it's great that you took the leap just to start and create this.
yeah, it's been
You know,
fun. It's
yeah.
I've known so many people, and other people ask me like, "Do you know somebody who's a makeup artist? Do you know somebody who could be an extra videographer for this project?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I do."
Yeah.
But what's a better way of just saying, yeah, I know people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get them out there in style of film.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I love film. What's another way I could use it to help the community? And this was the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. So let's get into some. Let's just talk about content for a second. Let's talk about content. So, and let me just give you some context. Some background. So if people are listening, watching, we know that a lot of people struggle still in 2024 with content creation. It's still a major, major problem, particularly for companies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, creative individuals like ourselves that just naturally want to create things, it comes a little more naturally, I would say, to us. Now, normally you're behind the camera. You're in front of the camera today.
It's different for me. People are seeing my face. They normally see images of me on social media, like me doing my work, but here I am talking. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's cool. And so it's a struggle because there's a few different layers, with content creation. One, you have the fear within yourself, the rejection. What are people gonna say? That your own internal battles that you have to overcome. What are people going to, what if I say the wrong thing on camera? And, am I looking good today enough for the camera? Like you just, all these things are in your head and they prevent you from starting and creating content. But so with that in people's minds, I want you, because you've had some success with creating content and seeing kind of how far, or really how far it can go. And I mean, it's even going to go further than that. But tell me about the other side. So now you've got a lot of content out there. You're consistent. You're pushing out content. Tell me about your journey with YouTube and where you're at today, so people can get in their minds of like, if you can get past those first internal battles, a lot can happen, with that.
Yeah, like originally when I started YouTube, I mean, I started using it when it first came out. I think '05 is when it started, and then '06 is like people got the word of what YouTube was. Like, oh, you can upload videos and share this fun stuff. So all you kiddies watching or listening, that just shows how old YouTube is right now.
It's a dinosaur now.
Almost 20 years
For
old.
those
That's
kids,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. But I used to, when I was younger, going through middle school into high school, we would upload our VHS stuff and just get it out there to show our friends and family. And that was before YouTube was a business.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a business, which is insane to even think about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did then. And then once I started to get into the workforce within film,
Mm-hmm.
I was part of the news industry. We used YouTube there to upload certain promos, certain content that was up on the live broadcast, just so if people missed it during the live broadcast, they could watch it. So we would do that. But we got some followers. It was just pretty much the people within the general area who would watch it. And then I left the news industry because I wanted to work for a company to help build them through video production itself, and also myself would learn from that business and expand my skills too.
Yeah.
And I got hired at a law firm right out here in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and the owner of the company wanted to do just that. He wanted to grow his business through video production, and he wanted to use YouTube as the platform because everybody uses YouTube now. It's the number 2, it's most used source to look up whatever it is you're trying to find, because there's tutorials for everything. You can learn history.
Yeah, it's an SEO powerhouse.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you're constantly getting, everything you're typing in there is a search result.
Exactly, yeah.
Every single time. So your videos could literally come up organically if somebody's typing in how to tie 2 toothpicks together.
Yeah. How to assemble your next toilet, or
if you got a video on it, it could literally pop up, especially, and then depending on the algorithm helping you, show up, and
which that's all a whole other thing too. That's always changing.
So as you're going through the story, just real quick, I want to just pause for a second. So the company that brought you in, that was the CEO's decision to create content. Now, is the CEO, were they already afraid of the camera? Were they already like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the camera. Like I'm not shy about it.
Like, we made an introduction video, like the first one that I did with him in our studio, which the studio was so small at the time. The first thing he said really on camera was, I've done 1,000 videos on camera. I've talked on camera. So from that point, I'm like, okay, he knows how to talk in all of a teleprompter,
so he had reps.
All that stuff.
He's got reps. He's got,
He's
so he got past like already the anxiety or fear and all the internal battle stuff. So, and also I want everybody to be listening too, because this decision to create content came from the top. Sometimes, depending on how big your organization is too, sometimes those decisions come from, from the middle or, just below the executive team. And so it's hard to get everybody on board, with that. So getting the buy-in from really the people that are kind of leading the charge, because ultimately content really helps a brand grow, overall. Yes, there are some tactical things where you can get into the data of attracting leads, converting those leads into clients, engagement and all that stuff. But overall, first, when somebody's seeing you for the first time, they're getting a taste of your brand, of who you are. And then eventually they'll be like, what does Derek do?
Like, who is he?
Yeah, who is he? Okay, I keep seeing these videos, kind of like what he's talking about. All right, let me see what's going on. So anyways, I'm just trying to frame the story for everybody of what you did. So, okay, so you were brought in to create content.
Started from the ground up.
The ground up, literally zero.
Literally, we started the channel from nothing to make it where it is today.
Yeah. And so talk to me just a little bit. You don't have to go through the entirety of it, but just give me some of the milestones of some of that content journey, and what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Our first year was the challenge. It was like our test run from the end of 21 through the end of 22. So we didn't really know what content to talk about. So he's an attorney. He's a defense attorney, former state prosecutor. He's well known around the country for his wisdom, the way he's able to talk so fluently and make the language of being an attorney sound simple.
Yeah.
Because there's all these big words,
Definitely need
stuff
that.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Stuff I'm not an attorney, so I'm just like, what is he saying? But he simplifies it to make it easy for everybody to understand, and that's what people like about him the most. So somebody who knows nothing about drunk driving and OWIs, stuff like that, and all the language behind it, he simplifies it, and that's what people want to hear, and that's what people are attracted to him for. So within our first year, we ended up going from nothing to about 1,000 subscribers, which was great. So we were getting an audience, a small audience, and people were noticing who we were.
And just real quick, so I'm gonna interject. So how many videos were you dropping when you first started?
We were dropping about 2 a week.
2 videos a week, and roughly how long were they? And then what was the style of the video?
Sure. So most of the videos were talking head with data, charts, and all that as used as B-roll.
Okay.
So some stock footage of like police officers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When he's talking about certain situations, I would interject. So some of the videos ranged from, I would say, 5 to 8 minutes. And then I think maybe a few months in, we started to branch off a little bit more because some people were commenting, posting in the boxes, like, could you emphasize this a little bit more? Could you go in a little bit more depth? So we were basing some of our videos off of what our audience was starting to say once they noticed us. And the reason we were starting to get an audience from that beginning point anyway was because my boss posted the link to the video on different sources like Reddit, social medias that he actually had his name on already.
Gotcha.
And that's what started to bring in the audience from the beginning.
So use Reddit. So this is actually a really good takeaway, just using the platform that you're already currently on.
Yeah.
And at least starting to share the new video content, on and say, hey, I got this, and or here's some insights, or something like that. But using Reddit, so that was his platform of choice. Yep. And then so doing that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. And he was using that to his advantage because people already knew about him from seeing his interviews on major networks like NBC, stuff like that. Because major court cases, he's very knowledgeable on that stuff. So he became well known because of that, and people would see the link like, oh, Tom Grieve said this, let's take a look at it. And once he posted it to Reddit and other sources, they listened in because they've seen his interviews from live television.
Yeah.
And then, I kind of escalated from that point, and we were basing a lot of our content on what the audience was saying, what they wanted. So if we posted a topic about a certain court case, he talked about it for about 5 to 8 minutes. Some people would comment saying, could you go in this a little bit more depth? We would love to see another video about this. And then we would do that. And then we did that literally throughout the first year, which would lead up to 1,000 subscribers. With him just posting on Reddit, Facebook, stuff like that, Twitter. Yeah. And then, basing on what the audience wanted. And then it literally... So do you want me to go into the next step?
Yeah, go on to the next step.
Okay. So this is... I'm not saying this happens to everybody, but somehow we ended up achieving this. So we posted one video about a specific topic that was very, very sensitive because it was about a group called the ATF. Our channel is based on Second Amendment rights, court cases, stuff like that. And we did one video about the ATF that was actually affecting a lot of people. So people would purchase firearms, and then there's a group called the ATF who actually monitors people online who purchase firearms. And they want to know about, hey, why is this group knowing that we're purchasing these items? How can we stop them from doing it? And all of a sudden, they're able to show up on our doorstep and find us and ask us why we purchased this. And people are wondering, how do we get out of this? What do we do if this happens to us? Because nobody did a topic on this at all on YouTube, at least that we even saw. So my boss wanted to talk about it. And then it just exploded. Like, the video right now has almost 4 million views within less than a year. And people keep going back to it because it's one of those topics that you learn a lot from, and you know how to save yourself in certain situations. That brought our audience in. So at the beginning of 23, is right after we made that video, people saw it, and then that drew in an audience. It just kept on coming. We weren't expecting us to grow a huge audience because of one video.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what got my boss's name out there even more. And he was doing the same thing, putting it on Reddit, going on Facebook, Twitter, posting it like he's been doing for our first year. But one video literally made us explode. I don't know how that happened. Luck of the draw, I guess.
How many videos happened before that moment?
I would say just under 100.
So I just heard about this. Listening to, man, I wish I could. His name's Ryan. He's got some slick back hair. He's deep into like real estate. I don't want to jack up his last name. But I just watched a video where he was on a podcast with somebody else, and then they were talking about this rule of 100. And they said that, so a lot of people, when they talk about content and starting, you know, oftentimes, like, most people give up within the first, like, 5 to 10 videos, and they'll just stop. There's actually a statistic even with podcasts that most podcasts stop around 5 to 7 episodes. They're just done. And I forgot the statistic about podcasting where I forgot how many were created and then how many are still active today. I think there's been millions created, but active actual podcasts that are past like 20 episodes or more is only like 500,000 or something like that. It's still crazy that people just don't stay consistent. So I heard about this rule of 100, where if somebody wants to start and do something, they should just tell themselves, no matter what, I'm going to do 100 of these. Yeah. Then I'll decide if I want to quit this thing or not. Because what often happens is, you know, you do something 100 times, really anything. I'm going to go to the gym 100 times. After that, if I still don't, you know, believe in it, or I'm not seeing results or whatever, I'll throw it away, and then, you know, I'm done with it. Yeah. Or, hey, I'm gonna send 100 job applications. You know, hey, it's hard getting a job. I'm gonna send 100 though. After 100, then I can complain. You know, so like, it's about setting that bar for yourself. So with content, imagine if you or, you know, your boss said, hey, we're gonna try this out, see what's going on, and then after 15 videos, you know, he was like, this ain't really working, man. Just whatever. Let's just do something else. Think about what you could have missed out on. Right. And especially this phenomenon happening after the 100 videos. So it just goes to show you, like, set that bar for yourself. Don't care about yes, I mean, a lot of companies and people and even entrepreneurs and stuff, they want to get those results right away. Right. But you gotta get shots up in the gym. That's really what it comes down to. You have to get the shots up. You got to put the work in a little bit. So don't be so hard on yourself for putting out content and you're like, oh man, it's not getting crazy numbers right away. Before you weren't getting crazy numbers, you know? So you got to build something, you know, to work. So it's just so interesting. It just like further validates that video I watched for that story, because it's like, if you would even stopped at 70 videos, right? Yeah, you would have had a little traction, like maybe, you know, so you had 1,000 subscribers, like, you know, it's moving a little bit, but is there a giant wave? Right. No. Yeah. You literally just got to keep at it. Like, my boss and I were trying to figure out our niche. What is our audience exactly looking for? And we were getting a lot of our comments from the audience that's what we figured out. Like, okay, we'll base our content off of what the audience wants. What are their questions that they have for us? And that creates content for us and draws people in. Yeah. And that, because once we find out what the audience is concerned about, okay, we have the knowledge of it, let's talk about it, and that's what draws them in. They want to know, they don't care about what we're just talking about, random stuff. They want to know what can help them, and that's what we base our content off of. Yeah. Interesting topics that can help save their lives, save somebody else, and everything like that. So staying consistent, it was always 2 videos a week? Yep, that actually took us a while to figure out, because there was a lot of back and forth. Do we need to do 2 a week, 3 a week,
maybe even 4 a week.
Yeah.
But because of my boss having a schedule the way it is, he's running like 5 different other businesses.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the time like a lot of content creators who are doing this as a for a normal living. So he's incorporating this with his other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was very hard for us to kind of keep up with that. We knew we weren't gonna grow as fast as somebody who's able to make a video every day.
Yeah.
So, but what we learned from other successful content creators, as long as you're creating at least 2 to 3 videos a week, you're posting, you're replying to people's comments, your channel will stay alive. People will continue to follow you. But you gotta stay consistent, exactly like you said. You gotta consistently make content every week. You can't take those long breaks, or else people will be like, "What's going on with this person?
Yeah.
They haven't made anything."
Yeah.
And people are really serious when it comes to subscribing. Like, they'll literally unsubscribe from you if you don't make something, or if you say the wrong thing that they don't care about. They'll unsubscribe from you.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. Really ruthless. Or this is something I have to admit. If you spell something wrong, they'll really go after you.
Oh yeah, they will.
They will tear you apart.
But you know what? You know what's funny about that? We worked with a content creator, an influencer before, and what she used to do is she actually would spell words wrong in her posts on purpose.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because it would help the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, "Oh, you spelled so and so," or you would get DMs like, "Hey, just to let you know, you spelled," but it started conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I've even done it on purpose. I've had people be like, "Hey, man, I'm looking out for you. Just want to let you know you spell individual wrong."
Yeah.
I did it on purpose. Because I want to get that. I want to get comments.
Yeah.
The more your stuff gets comments, the more it gets
algorithm.
views. Helps the algorithm. It's like a little hack. So if if people listening and watching, like if you want to try that,
like I always like shake my head every time I hear like, "Oh, you spelled this wrong." Like in a video not that long ago, I accidentally spelled bail wrong.
Yeah.
And then my boss was at a convention, and some guy walked up to him who's a follower of the channel and calls him, "Hey, I heard you spelled bail wrong on that video. How's it going, bail?" And then my boss just kind of like shrugs it off and goes, "Haha, funny."
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's what you're...
Yeah, that's what you care about? That's what you want to say to them? What do you...
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's 100% true. Like what you said, it draws in those comments and the algorithm and actually helps it. Would I say, "Hey, spell everything wrong in your videos"? No, don't do that. Or else that'll be all the comments you get. You'll lose all your
subscribers.
It's like, why should I listen to you? You're spelling all these words wrong.
Yeah.
It does happen, because especially if you're on a time crunch,
yeah, of course.
Don't have time to proofread everything, especially in the news world.
Yeah.
Like you might notice on headlines, something spelled wrong.
Yeah.
It's because either they weren't able to proofread it or they literally had to get it up in seconds.
Yeah. And so when you guys are posting these videos, are you also doing shorts? Are you doing any kind of micro content?
That is something we did do. We tried to get a few shorts out a week along with our video. So we would post a video one day. The next day we would do a short based on that video that we did.
Okay.
So like a little sniblet of it, like a little clip, and then it would lead in, and you want to find out more, watch the video in the link below.
Mm-hmm.
But
did you see that working? Is like,
not really on our end. What we ended up seeing was if you just do shorts, people are going to follow you just because of the shorts.
Okay.
So you almost have that niche. What are you focusing more on? The full-length content? Or are you focusing on shorts?
Gotcha.
So if you're just a short guy, you're going to get a huge audience because it does bring in a lot of views.
Short guy.
Little short guy. Little shorts.
Are you wearing shorts? Are you short? Are you creating shorts?
Are you creating shorts? I would certainly hope you're wearing shorts while you're making shorts. Short shorts? I don't know. What can I say?
No, I love the story. So just to fast forward, because I think people are kind of getting the gist of that. So where are you guys at today? And then I have some other questions.
Yeah. So just a quick summary here.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 23, we did that one video that made us blow up. We went from 1,000 subscribers, and within a week, we got 15,000 new subscribers, and it kept growing.
Yeah.
And then by the 6th month of last year, we had 100,000.
Jeez.
So we achieved that landmark. We got the YouTube Creator Award, which was insane, something I never thought I'd get. And right now, about a year later, since we got that jump, we're about to reach 40,000. So
you're on a crazy trajectory to like just keep growing this thing.
exactly.
Well, first of all, I mean, congrats to the work you guys have done.
Thanks.
And one thing I just wanted to point out, just in the reason why I want to go through that story real quick, and I know you have your business and you have all these other things going on, but the one thing that's so important, and a lot of creatives can kind of walk away, with this as well, is you have to have like, because you guys had this perfect almost scenario. First of all, he hired you on to trust your creative, guidance, direction to do this, because one without the other can't produce this.
Right.
Like you literally can't. So it's almost like this perfect like Batman Superman duo.
That's really what it is.
That you guys have. Like he has like this certain personality or delivery that he does on his topic points, how he describes it, how he performs on camera. Like there's always little nuances that he brings, and then for you to then take that creativity and say, okay, what kind of B-roll shots do we need to show? How are we going to make these cuts?
Yep.
What's, from the formatting of the video, what's going to perform best? Okay, when it's actually posted, what is the title? What's the hashtags? What's, like...
So much.
Just taking all of that, right? Well, everything that you've done. The thumbnails
that draw you in. That's something we learned. Yeah, the thumbnail is huge.
So really and I've heard that too. Thumbnails are so important. I've heard some of the top content creators. They literally will spend a lot of money on a thumbnail.
That's crazy.
It's more than what they've done for the production of the video. They will work with certain designers and people that really understand YouTube algorithm and all that, and they will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for one thumbnail.
Yeah.
Because that one thumbnail could get you, X more number of views.
It really
does. Get you subscribers and all that stuff. So I have heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Try to keep the wording on there minimum, like no more than 5 words, I would say. We try to keep ours between 3 and 4 words just on the thumbnail, and then we have images around it. So that way it's not like, okay, you have a whole paragraph on this thumbnail. You want something that stands out, few impactful words that draw the audience in and make you click on it.
Yeah.
So it's all about click impressions, all that stuff. And then you got to start that video out strong that makes the audience want to continue watching.
Yeah, for the watch time to grow. Yeah.
You got to draw them in immediately within that first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, they will not watch it.
Crazy. Great. So the thumbnail is so important. But you guys, like, just what you've created is amazing. So, and I just wanted people to walk away with, so if you're creative, sometimes, you may need to find that, I don't know which one's Superman or Batman. I'm a Batman guy. So I
am too. I'm more of a Batman guy than a Superman.
So, but you may need to find your Superman, because you might not be what's going to take. So sometimes people, like creatives, sometimes they'll try to get in front of the camera and create all their own content and do stuff, and it just doesn't land. But also, have you done the rule of 100? Have you actually put the time and effort in to grow that?
Yeah.
But so sometimes a little bit of a tweak of like, hey, let me find my Superman. Let me find a partner in this that maybe is great on camera, has a topic, has a thing. I know a good buddy of mine. So we used to work together back in the day. His name's Jazam. We used to work together back in the day. Great content creator. And what he loved though, he started to do. He's doing these travel videos and like daily lifestyle type videos. But then he eventually got a job working for a company called Tesla Daily. And he started to produce the videos, and now they've done, I don't know, he just said the stat the other day. It's hundreds of millions of views on this
Wow.
YouTube channel. But he produced, hundreds and hundreds of videos for them. He had just ended that contract now. But now he has that on his resume. And now he's doing a lot of his Ironmans and like marathon running, and like he's a jump rope guy. So now he's taking all that content, like all that energy and time and effort that he learned and kind of grew up that, that other channel, and now he's growing his own channel.
Wow.
On that stuff. So it just goes to show you that sometimes you just need that partner.
You really do.
To kind of help you break out of whatever it is, and then you can then shift or move.
Yeah.
And creatives, we like to create. So like sometimes certain topics and stuff over time they get a little boring, or hey, we want a new challenge or something. But sometimes you need that partnership to grow something.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do both, flip on the camera and be the person that's, in front of it.
Right.
So it's just super interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a YouTube channel. This is one of the original YouTube channels. I watched them when I was in high school. The group called Smosh. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're one of the originals.
Smosh.
They did a bunch of crazy, like, funny skits. They do this event called Food Battle, where they go against each other with one piece of food, like one's better than the other. They fight each other to determine it. I don't know, something like that.
I almost think of, were they kind of like Jackass a little bit?
A little bit.
Like they would just do some stupid stuff?
They would do like bunch of funny skits. They ended up becoming like one of the first main YouTube channels to reach like 1 million. And grow the popularity of the platform.
Yeah.
And over the years, they actually became this huge business out in California, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But they became so huge, one of them ended up branching off from the other. He's like wanted to start his own business. It was two main guys. They had a crew, but it was basically on two guys. One of them branched off from the other because he wanted to start his own YouTube channel, which he did.
Yep.
But within like the past year, they actually came back together to grow their business again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just a great lesson. I love what you've been able to accomplish, and it's just great, man. Like
Thanks.
Just to see that, and then not even just so for the videos and stuff that you're editing through there, then you have the success with YouTube. Are you now taking a lot of those learning lessons and stuff and applying it to the business that you're working with on Stair Films? Are you kind of taking that and saying, hey, how do I apply this to? I mean, because you're doing a ton of videos and content on that end as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's about finding the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm devoting so much time to the firm itself, to that YouTube channel. And with Stair Films, our business to actually go out and film things for our clients is primarily done on weekends.
Gotcha.
So if I'm done with something for the YouTube channel at the law firm, that brings in the time for me to do things for Stair Films.
Gotcha.
Which is sometimes minimal, sometimes big, depending upon how fast I can get something done.
Yes.
So I'm trying to, but I haven't achieved that yet. But we have some pretty big expectations for this year. And Brendan has been pushing on me to do shorts and everything of like the next frame, showing snippets of that on there. Brendan Adams?
Yeah.
Who's Brendan? I don't know if I talked about him last time.
I mean, well, some people, this may be their first time listening.
That's true. So Stair Films is primarily run by myself, Derek Pfister, and then Brendan Adams. Brendan Adams has been my best friend since 3rd grade, and we've been making videos together since we were kids in middle school.
Yeah.
And here we are doing professional videos together, and we're in our 30s. We're running a business together, and we started doing it in 2010.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's my right-hand guy. He looks out for me. Something I miss, he'll catch. Same thing, vice versa. We just work so well together. He understands. He's very technical. He knows that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we've been a two-man band for almost this full 14 years. Yeah. But in the past 2 years, we brought another guy on board named Ken Williams, who's also an actor in a lot of our work.
Ken is incredible, by the way.
He's a great actor. You should check out his work. Ken Williams.
Yeah, he's so good, man.
Shout out to Ken.
Worked with him a few times. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great, man. So, yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I think, just also that urge of you wanting to constantly create. Do you think that's ever going to fade away? Or are you just a creative for life?
I feel like I'm a creative for life. People ask me, so when are you gonna retire? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not thinking about that. I'm saving for retirement now.
Who's asking you that? Who in the world is asking you that in your 30s?
friends of mine that are in the 30s.
Left, man.
And still, my parents and all that too. I mean, they're just looking out for me. But I'm like,
you gotta retire.
I know. It's crazy. I'm like, I'm saving for it. But here's the thing. As a creative, I don't know if you can ever retire as being a creative making things. I don't see myself being like, I can never not make a movie or make something to help somebody out.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do. And it's not really like, oh, I feel like I'm going to work today.
Yeah.
This is something I love doing, and it doesn't feel like I'm going to work. It's just like, oh, I'm doing what I love doing. And if you're able to do something like that, you've found the best thing that can move your life forward.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And my wife, too. She moves my life forward, too. I love her so much.
Yeah, throw in there because he didn't want the backlash.
Oh, yes. I don't want her listening in and be like, you forgot to mention me.
Yeah, once she listens to this.
So it's just movies that make you happy?
It's like you totally forgot about me, didn't you? You saw the fear in his eyes.
I'm glad I caught that last second.
He said, oh, I am my wife.
And my wife. It's not just movies. I love film.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man. But no, this has been great, man. I love all the work that you're doing. I think, honestly, from this conversation, definitely helped a lot of people out.
I hope so, yeah. That's my goal, is to always help people out. People have helped me out get to where I am today. 100%. And my plan is I want to do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have gotten the opportunities like meeting you or doing anything with the other creatives I've worked with if it wasn't for people giving me a chance.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this year I'm really focusing in on a lot of things, and we can finally start getting that documentary going. Figure out what's going on with that. I've already been starting to queue things up.
Awesome.
So it's just taking the time.
Yeah, I mean,
and getting it done. And
we shot a lot. That's the thing.
We
interviewed a lot of great people, and it's just about how are we supposed to take all the great things they said and narrow it down into small sound bites. It's just like, it's a lot. Yeah. So if anybody ever says, oh, filmmaking doesn't seem like it should take that long at all, well, you're totally wrong. It takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot. Because they see the final product. They don't see
what
all the
you had to do to make
footage
it.
You got to go through and sift through and find the best shots, and then you may start to create something. It's like, actually, this too. A reshoot. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So what we're talking about is that we did the Lead the Movement business conference 2 years in a row. One was at the Pfizer Forum, and the other one was at the Summerfest grounds in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we documented that process, going through it. And so we want to actually put all that together and create a documentary or a series or something.
Yeah, like how you literally had this small idea and then you were able to rent out the Pfizer Forum. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And that's what we were trying to document.
Yeah.
We got all the people who were part of it, got their voices. We want to get that all part of the story. Yeah. And just piece it together.
And I now have some creative ways of how to really grow that. I think it's really going to come down to getting that trailer.
Yeah, that's how you're going to make people want to buy into it.
They can see the vision of it. But that's how I can start to move the needle on some other things, for the distribution part of it or partnerships and, actually blowing it up. But it's just, like you said, going through going through all those things and saying, I just got to create something cohesive that's a trailer that makes sense. Yeah. But we don't quite know exactly how it's going to end.
Yeah. It's going
to be tough.
It's one thing to film it, and I've learned this through the years too. It's one thing to film a project. You get excited, you made it, you have all this footage, but it's another thing, even huge. It's the biggest part, is to piece it together somehow. Yeah. That's the most time-consuming part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just about having the motivation, the energy, push through the struggles of putting it together, because guess what? It's going to be worth it in the end.
It's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. I mean, think of all the films you did.
Yeah.
When you're editing, you're like, why? It's 4 in the morning.
When you're editing a film in 48 hours and you're staying up that full 48 hours staring at a computer screen for that last half of that period, it really makes you just want to pass out and sleep. But literally, I have to fight through it. Now that I've been getting older, it's harder. Do it. Start out when you're young. Just plow through it, because guess what? When you get a little bit older, it becomes harder to pull those all-nighters to make a movie.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, man, for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I think this has been great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tons of gems have been dropped. Where can people find you? How can they learn more?
Of course, yeah. Look up chaironsstairfilms.com. That's our official website. We're heavily on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're still on Twitter a little bit, X, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, primarily look us up on Instagram. We're heavily posting on there, and it gets transferred over to Facebook. So if you want to contact us, look us up on those platforms, or just go directly to our website at chaironsstairfilms.com.
Dope. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things on all the platforms that we're on. Definitely, if you want to support the channel, we have a support option. Couple bucks a month can really help us really grow and maximize this podcast. And we're going to continue to pump out amazing episodes with incredible guests. So keep tuning in to this Ultimate Business Podcast. So until the next time, we're out. Peace.
Have a good one. All right.
And that's it.
That's a wrap.
Put my shades on.
There you go. That's how you exit.
Get out of here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for more amazing content that we're going to be putting out. And don't forget, you can change your circle to change your life.